Alright, so I'm going to take a look at application projectile motion part 2, and you should have copied this down in the previous video, but if you hadn't, you can go ahead and copy it down. I did add the steps that we did in the last video as well, so pause the video and copy that down. Alright, so always start with pressing y equals. So this is going to be a fast video because we've already done it. So y equals, plug in the equation. So I'm going to plug in negative 16x squared plus 15x. Alright, then press graph, so that's what it does. Now we have to fix the window. Then we press window, and we always have three options. We're always going to start with standard. So standard is right at negative 10, 10, goes up by 1, and then negative 10, 10, and goes up by 1. Put in the window from negative 10 to positive 10. So that's what the graph is. So I'm going to make the x smaller and the y max small, all of them small actually. So let's make that negative 5, and let's also make that 10 smaller, so 6. And let's make that smaller as well. I'm going to hit graph and look at what that does. And honestly, that's good enough. As long as I can see my maximum and where it crosses the x-axis, then that should be okay to answer my question. So now I'm just going to answer the question. So the question is, find how long the ball is in the air. How long? So that's time, right? So how long is it in the air? Time is the x-axis. Height is the y-axis. So I'm really looking where it crosses the x-axis, which is known as what? A 0. So second calculate 0. Then you're going to move to the left of the 0, press enter. Move the little star to the right, use the arrow. Move to the right, make sure it passes a 0, press enter. And then it's going to ask you guess, you're going to say enter. Now very important, you see how it says y equals 0? Because it's a 0. So x is equal to 0.9375. And just like what we did before, let's round it to the nearest hundredth. You just have to be careful as to what the question asks for. So nearest hundred is 2 numbers after the decimal. So 2 numbers, listening check, put a circle around the letter A, question A. And then what does that 7 do? The 7 makes the 3 go up by 1. So again, 5 and above, raise the score, 4 and below, leave it alone, something like that. So x is equal to 0.94 seconds, make sure you write it. Alright, what is the maximum height? So now we're asking for maximum height. Maximum. So if it's maximum, it's always going to be second calculate. And what do you think you're looking for? It's maximum. So maximum. So hit maximum. And then you're going to do left, enter. So move it to the left. Press enter once it's past the maximum on the left. Then move it to the right because it says right bound. So move it to the right. Once it passes the maximum, press enter. Doesn't matter where as long as it's passed. Guess? Yes. So now you get y is equal to 3.515625. That's the height. Okay, so the height. Height is y, x is time. And then again, round to the nearest hundredth, 2 numbers after the decimal. So what does that 5 do? It makes it go up by 1. So it's going to be 3.52. Do not forget your units, feet, because they'll actually take off if you don't put your units. Because now height is feet. Alright, so the question is, how long did it take the ball to reach that 3.52? Well, that's your x value, because x is time at 3.52. So it just read it off the calculator, 0.46874945. Again, round to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 numbers after the decimal. So what does the 8 do? Makes it go up by 1, so 0.47 seconds. Do not forget your units because that's time. So x is time, y is height. Alright, so just like we did before, I'm going to skip D and come back to it. And I'm going to do E first and then come back to D. So E says, how high is the ball after 2 seconds? And actually, this is a listening check. You are going to correct that 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Okay, so it's saying basically when you put 0.5 in the calculator, what do you get? Which one do you think it is? Value. So I'm going to put 2 for a second and then I'm going to come back and fix it, but you're going to put 0.5. So again, x is time, I can't say it enough, and y is the height. So if I'm putting in an x value, I'm putting in the time. I'm putting in seconds, and that's what we're doing here, seconds. So again, you're putting 0.5. And the reason I did that is because I made these questions up, and you can see that I get a negative number for y. And if y is height, can you have negative 34 as a height? No, because remember, you can't have a negative time or a negative height. Cannot have a negative time or negative height. Okay, so I made the question up, so I'm going to change it, so I overestimated it. So now go ahead and correct it to 0.5 and put it in the calculator as 0.5. Again, second calculate, and of all of those, it's value, and then you're going to put x is 0.5, and it gives you y is equal to 3.5 feet. Listening check. Underline 2 feet in the question. Underline 2 feet in the question. Alright, so plugging in x is really easy. It's when you have to plug in y that you have to do one extra step. Okay, so that will be question D. So question D says, after how many seconds will the object be 2 feet above the jogger's head? Right, so what we're going to do is you go write down the original equation, just copying it down. So h equals negative 16t squared plus 15t. And what do you think 2 feet means? So remember, look at the units. Feet is what? Height, because if it was x, it will be time, which would be seconds. So I'm going to put 2 as the height and write everything else down. Then all I'm going to do is, because I need to solve for 0, so I'm just going to put it on the other side, because I can't put it in the calculator until I have 0. So 2 to the other side becomes negative 2, and that's my new equation. That's what I'm punching in the calculator. So now I'm going to take my calculator and punch in negative 16x squared plus 15x minus 2. And really, you already have it punched in, so when you go y equals, listening check, color in the letter D, the question, the letter D. All you'll have to do is change the number at the end. In this case, there's no number at the end, you just add in the minus 2. Then again, hit graph. And the window should be fine. Yeah, and it's fine. The window is fine, and all you're going to do is calculate your 0. So second, calculate your 0 again. Left side, press enter. Move it to the right of the 0, press enter. And then guess, press enter. And so again, when y is equal to 0, x is equal to 0.7765. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, 2 numbers after the decimal. So what does that 6 do? It makes it go up 1, so it's 0.78 seconds. And that's pretty much it. So you have to kind of read the question, and it's always second calculate, and then pick which one the question's asking about. That's all you have to do. Let's practice.